Hello everyone! Are you ready for your lesson in English? Wow! So you are really enthusiastic about it. That is so good to hear. By the way, I'm teacher Cristina and I will be your facilitator for this lesson. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to express permission, obligation, and prohibition. Before we begin, how about playing a game first? Would you like to play? Well then, let's begin. Let's use our imagination. Can you do that? Yes, you can. Let's pretend that you are on a deserted island. Which four of these tools would you take? Such as how, you, can, may, might, could, should use these objects. May I hear your answers? Wow! That is a good example. How about I also give my example? The tarp can provide some shelter in the scorching heat. I may use a knife for food cutting or chopping. Medicine kit can be handy in times of emergency. Water purifier could help me in purifying water from the pond. I should have a pot to cook my food. A hammock might be my sleeping bed for the meantime. Inflatable raft may be used for leaving the island. Insect repellent would be my best buddy against mosquitoes. For the past months, we've been triggered by the pandemic. Do you know the preventive measures to stop the spread of COVID-19? Would you mind to read the following preventive measures? So we have here, number 1, you must wear a mask to protect yourself and others. Number 2, we must stay at home unless absolutely necessary. Number 3, you must wash your hands regularly for at least 20 seconds. You should avoid touching your eyes, your nose, or your mouth. We must practice social distancing. And lastly, we should clean and disinfect frequently touched objects and surfaces. Can you read it? Very good. I hope you always bear that in mind. What words in the sentences give you the impression that the statement should be taken seriously? A modal verb is a type of auxiliary verb that used to express ability, possibility, permission, or obligation, and many others. Okay, this time, I want you to read the meaning of modals. Very good. A modal verb is a type of auxiliary verb that used to express ability, possibility, permission, or obligation, and many others. Modals can be used in asking or giving, number 1, permission, number 2, obligation, number 3, prohibition. Let us first try the modal for permission. The modal verb that we often use to give or ask for permission are can, could, and may. Let us read the sentences together. Can I have another piece of cake? Could I have another piece of cake? May I have another piece of cake? Very good! Here are some examples for permission. We have the word can. We use the words to ask permission. Who among you have used the word can in your sentences? Yes, we always use can when we want to ask permission. Let's take a look on the modal could. What is the difference between can and could? Excellent! Could you read the sentences again? Amazing! So could is also used to ask permission, but not to give it. It is more formal and polite than can. Examples are, could you cook for us? Could he try again? Could I stay here? Permission could. We also use could to express possibility or possibility, as well as to make suggestion and request. We use could not or couldn't to say they were not allowed to do it. For possibility, we have here, extreme rain could cause the river to flood the city. For possibility, Nancy could escape like a pro by the age of 11. For suggestion, you could see a movie or go out to dinner. That is a suggestion. For request, could I use your computer to email my boss? That is for request. And then lastly, if it's not allowed, we could say we couldn't use the pool after 7 p.m. Aside from can and could, we also have the modal may. May is similar to could, but it is even more polite and formal. May not is used to say that someone is not allowed to do something. May we come in? May I make an appointment for Tuesday? May we ask you some questions about your experience? When do you usually use the words may? Wow, you sounded so polite in that example. Let us now see the differences between the three modals. Can is less formal and more direct than could. When asking in a simple or direct, we use can. Example, can I ask a question? Can we have something to drink? We are thirsty. Could, on the other hand, is used when being polite or wanting to show respect. Could is a better choice than can, as it is more polite form than can. Examples, could I ask you a question, please? Could I try this dress on? Lastly, we have may. May can also be used when asking permission, but is much more formal. May I use your restroom, please? May I ask what your name is? Have you ever felt that you are obligated to do something because you hear that must word? Well, that is because must is an example of a modal that shows obligation. Words such as must, have to, need to, and cannot are examples of the models of obligation. Do you know that you have to listen to the entire discussion, right? That is a fair example for this model. Okay, so have to shows us that obligation comes from somebody else. It's a law or a rule, and the speaker can change it. Example, you have to wear a seatbelt when you drive. Number 2, in England, most school children have to wear a uniform. Number 3, John has to wear a tie at work. So we sometimes call this external obligations. How about must? We use must when the authority for the obligation comes from the person who is speaking. Must expresses a strong obligation and necessity. Examples, you must give up smoking, it's bad for you. A teacher talking to her or his student, you must study the last 2 chapters before the test. Sign on a plane, seatbelts must be worn by all passengers. Would you mind to read the words on your screen? Must is used to express obligations. You must know that, right? Okay, so we have here, note, we don't use must to express obligation in the past. We used have to instead. I had to pay $1,000 to renew my passport last week. Now let's have the word should. Should is a modal verb most commonly used to make recommendations or give advice. It can also be used to express obligation as well as expectation. Here are the examples. When you go to Berlin, you should visit the palaces in Potsdam. That is for recommendation. For advice, you should focus more on your family and less on work. For obligation, I really should be in the office by 7 a.m. Lastly, for expectation, by now you should already be in Dubai. What color would make you stop? Very good! We have it in red. Modals are like colors. They too have a modal that states stop. These are modals that prohibits or stop you from doing something. The modal verbs used are may and can't. They are used as negatives. Example, can't, must not, may not. Here is an example. We use can't to talk about something that is against the rules, particularly when we didn't make the rules. Number 1, you can't drive here. Number 2, you can't wear hats in class. Number 3, you can smoke in the office. Another example of modal of prohibition is may not. May not is a formal way to prohibit something. Examples, you may not smoke in this house. Number 2, you may not wear shoes in the office. Number 3, you may not eat in the conference room. Aside from may not, we also have the must not. Must not is used when talking about things that are not allowed. They are prohibited and forbidden due to either real laws, regulations, or personal obligations. Examples, you must not use a cell phone. You must not write with pencil. You must not play music. To check whether you understand our lesson, let's have our practice. Which one of the pair expresses an obligation? A. I must go to the doctor. B. I will go to the doctor. Very good. The right answer that shows obligation is letter A. I must go to the doctor. Moving on, here is question number 2. Which one of the pair expresses polite way of asking permission to do something? A. Could we leave now? B. Can we leave now? That is definitely the right answer. Could we leave now is a polite way of asking permission. I know number 3 is easy for you. Which one of the pair expresses more formal and polite way of saying that someone has permission? A. Students may join the trip. B. Students can join the trip. Amazing! Let us read the right answer. Students may join the trip. For number 4, which one of the pair expresses a stronger prohibition? A. You must not go to the party. B. You can't go to the party. Are you sad with your answer? Well, even if you're not attending the party, at least your answer is correct. That is a 4 out of 4. Excellent! Now, how about the last number? Which one of the pair expresses moral obligation? A. Parents should teach their children how to make good decisions. Letter B. Parents must teach their children how to make good decisions. You deserve a clap! The right answer is parents must teach their children how to make good decisions. And watching this video is really one of the best decisions that you ever made. Are you ready for a very interesting activity? As you know, there are many rules in our lives. At work, at school, in the public places, on the roads, etc. These are established to ensure order and safety. Remember the rules I have shared to you about COVID-19? Do you see how these rules are presented? It is very creative, right? It has text and images. This time, you are going to make or create an infographic or informational post on the rules that we have observed on social media or on online learning. I hope that you have learned something from this video. Thank you for watching. Bye!